We are live. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the All Elite Breakdown, Episode 3. I'm your host, Hunter Championship. I'm joined by my co-host, Kirby French. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good, How about you?
So I was taking a drink of my Gatorade. I'm doing fantastic after watching two great nights of AEW action. Before we start, we will break down the upcoming card from New York right after, which looks so fucking stacked. 2 hours Dynamite, 2 hours Rampage next week. Pretty much a 4-hour super card.
Every match feels like a pay-per-view match for next week.
Yes. But speaking of one of the matches we talked about was the Moxley Kingston taking on Suzuki and Archer, which is a lights out match. You watched a lights out match the other day, which was Thunder Brody versus Britt Baker. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that's one I heard a lot about. So my expectations were already pretty high, which is kind of like dangerous when you go into a match because you might like overhype it for yourself. That was not the case with this one. My God, those two just. I listened to a little bit of the interview that I don't know how to say her last name. Formerly known as Renee Young, she's John Moxley's wife.
Renee Paquette,
something like that. But she interviewed Britt Baker, and just hearing Britt Baker talk about it, like it was really their chance to really like showcase and elevate the women's division, because that's the one thing that had been kind of struggling in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're like, we have to bring it, and we have to go all out. I mean, no pun intended. And that's exactly what they did. Like, man, when they brought out the thumbtacks, like they did the one thumbtack bump, and then they did another one, and I was like, Jesus. And yeah, the stuff with the ladder, and yeah, the blood on both of them, it was brutal.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely one of my favorite matches of last year. They kicked. No, it was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like February, I think, right?
Yeah, it was February this year. Yep, my bad. Yeah. Definitely in my top 10 matches of this year. They just went out and kicked the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, that was rough.
So we will start with AEW Dynamite on 9/15/21. Very interesting. CM Punk is on commentary. I love it. Dude,
he's always been good on commentary.
Oh yeah. Random cat appears. Love to see it. We open up with Adam Cole making his in-ring debut against the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian. So just before we get into the full match details, your overall thoughts on Cole's debut, his match against Frankie, etc.
It was solid. This was another one where, like, similar to the what was the other match that I thought was going to be a squash? And then it was similar to the Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes. I kind of thought it was going to be just mostly a squash match in terms of Cole. That's not really what we got. Frankie Kazarian really showing a lot of fight, and one criticism I've always had of Adam Cole is I'm just not a huge fan of the Panama Sunrise.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It always looks weird and like overly kind of staged to me. It never really looks quite as smooth as I think he'd want it to.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was a really good first match for Adam Cole here in AEW.
Definitely. So let me get into some of the highlights of the match. So the match starts off with pretty traditional chain wrestling. Surprisingly, Kaz gets the best on it early on, really showing his experience in the ring and really being able to kind of out wrestle Cole at the beginning of the matches. Cole takes the advantage by back suplexing Kaz over the ropes, just tossing him.
Rough landing.
A very rough landing. Cole brings Kaz in, but Kaz blocks into a leg drop while Cole is over the middle ropes. Kaz goes for a victory roll. Cole kicks out into a pump kick. Kaz gets the submission locked in, but Cole is able to kick him in the face to finally break free. Cole hits the Ushi-Groshi for a near fall. Cole tunes up the band, a.k.a. Shawn Michaels. Goes for the sweet chin music when Kaz blocks into a German suplex for a near fall.
I feel like at this point, if anybody besides Shawn Michaels himself does the band tune-up, they're not hitting the move. It's going to get counted.
It always gets caught.
Yeah.
So Kaz goes for the cross-face chicken wing. Cole gets into a pinning predicament to break out of it. Cole blasts Kaz with a super kick. Cole then goes for the Panama Sunrise. Kaz blocks into an Alabama Slam. Very great counter from Kaz.
Yeah, I like that.
He hits a springboard leg drop, and they both trade forearms.
That was a smooth springboard leg drop, too.
Dude,
Like
every time Kaz does that, it looks amazing. Let's see. So they both trade forearms. Kaz hits a spin kick to the midsection. Cole hits a knee lift, and then hits Cole with a knee lift. Cole then hits a pump kick, and Kaz hits a clothesline. And then Cole hits a knee drop brainbuster, all in one little segment. Cole blocks a leg drop from Kaz into a Panama Sunrise, and then last shot for the victory.
Yeah, good showing for him. I mean, we all know that Adam Cole is pretty good at wrestling, so there's a nice debut for him. And yeah, I'm super excited for that 6-man tag coming up next week.
Oh, what is it? Super Click versus
Christian
and the Jurassic Express. Yeah, that's gonna be sick. Let's see. We have the MJF promo. I don't know how much I can say on this one, but he did have some funny bars in here. MJF is talking to the people at home. He says that his words last week might have offended some of you, but he doesn't care. This one was kind of iffy. He says that he's the religious man, so he'd like to have a few words with the late, great, loose cannon Brian Pillman. He looks up and says, "Mr. Pillman, sir, if you don't mind," before saying, "Oh, who am I kidding?" and then looking straight down and saying, "Hey, Pillman, we need to talk."
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some of MJF's stuff the past couple weeks is kind of like low-hanging fruit. Like, the thing he did with that, it reminded me of, like, Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. Randy Orton said, like, Eddie's down there in hell. Like, I wasn't a fan of it then. I'm not really a fan of it now. I
will say the only difference is timing. Brian Pillman has passed away way longer than trying to bring up Eddie Guerrero's passing like a few weeks later for a storyline.
That's fair. I just feel like it's so easy, and I feel like it doesn't really do anything for. Oh crap! My cat is like all over the place right now. I feel like it doesn't really do anything for Brian Pillman Jr.'s character if you keep tying him to his dead father. Like, I feel like through this feud, I haven't really learned much about Brian Pillman Jr. other than the fact that he's Brian Pillman Jr. I feel like so much of the focus has been put on his family, and like him calling like the drug addicted mom Methany. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like really easy and, like I said, low hanging fruit.
But again, I mean, I definitely agree on some part, but look at the crowd reaction also. It's working. He's getting heel heat without going too far with it.
Yeah,
which is impressive. Like, whenever, like, bringing up again Eddie Guerrero, Eddie's down there in hell, it didn't get the reaction that Vince thought it would when he put it in there. This is incorporating a family tragedy, but also it's not just MJF dogging on his family. It's also, you get to see more, like right after this, you get to see a really good impassioned promo from Brian Pillman Jr., talking about his family, talking about why, beating MJF in New York would be, massive, which I think he will beat him in New York. I think MJF can take another loss to Brian Pillman Jr. and be just okay.
Yeah, I would hope that they're going to give Brian Pillman Jr.
They're going to have to. I mean, with all that MJF has said, the best bet is to give Brian Pillman this win.
Yeah.
He says he has respect for Brian Pillman and he's a legend, but his widow made the worst excuse for a second-generation superstar in Brian Pillman Jr. He then tells Pillman to talk to his son and tell him if he shows up in Queens, he will massacre him. Pillman Jr.'s music hits. MJF tells Wardlow to meet him on the stage. When Pillman appears out of the crowd with a chair, he runs MJF off. When Wardlow comes in, Pillman slaps him, and when Wardlow comes running out, he bridges, and they run off with a chair. Again, making it seem even. MJF says words. Brian Pillman comes out and fights him off. So it's kind of a good back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, I wrote a lot of notes for this next match. Dante Martin and Matt Sydal taking on FTR.
This is fun.
This was a fun match. Every time Dante Martin is in a match, I have to write like 30 bullet point notes. Oh my god. So we start off with a double leapfrog into a drop kick by Martin and Sydal. Dax takes the advantage by putting Dante into the corner, hitting him with a few knife-edge chops. Dante tries to get the advantage going back with a springboard attack when Cash kicks his knees out from under him, and he takes the nasty-ass fall. He just, like, takes a front flip and just... Whew.
Yeah, brutal. Brutal stuff.
I'm not going to say all these, but Matt gets to tag in. Matt Sydal gets to tag in, hitting a jumping sidekick on Dax and a flying knee to Cash. Matt and Dante hit a team cross body dive on FTR on the outside. We come back from break. FTR has the advantage. Matt goes for a springboard cross body, but it's caught by both FTR before Dante hits a massive drop kick. The height that this dude gets on his drop kicks are insane.
Every time, I'm always terrified he's going to break his back one of these days on those drop kicks. Like, he might as well have been, like, pushed off a ladder, the amount of height that he gets.
Dude, he just springboards and gets, like, easily the rafters with his... Or it feels like he hits the rafters with his drop kicks.
High five Sting on his way up, and then...
Yeah, you just like, hey, boom! FTR attempts the big rig when Dante flies in. But Dante hits Cash with a sunset flip. Matt hits a hurricane on Dax for a double near fall. Dax lures Dante back in the ring where FTR hits the big rig for the victory.
I don't know if I like the name Big Rig as much as I like Shatter Machine, to be honest.
Well, I was just about to bring up why they call it Big Rig now. It's in honor of Brody Lee.
Oh.
They used to call him Big Rig backstage, so they took that name after he passed and used it as his team finisher.
Never mind then. I take that back.
So yeah, that Big Rig was nickname for Brody Lee backstage.
Fair enough. Man, everybody loved that guy.
Dude, he was awesome.
Did you see Fandango just got a tattoo of him?
Really?
Yeah, he got a tattoo of his face and yeah in the background. I think it was on his arm.
That's awesome. I know Big E had a photo on Twitter that it was him and then Brody Lee standing behind him with the title.
Yeah, and he said that like his Brody Lee's wife and kids like FaceTimed him after he won the title and stuff.
Yeah. Which, speaking of how AEW, I know we're getting off topic for a little bit, how AEW treated the tribute show for Brody Lee was amazing. And also the fact that Brody Lee's son, -1, a.k.a. Brody Lee Jr., he already has an AEW contract when he gets older.
Yeah, I heard about that. As soon as he's of age, he has a guaranteed spot on the roster. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And he's like right now, he's even just like there on occasion. Like he used to on Dark, he used to come out with Ty Conti for her matches. Nice. Hit people with the papers, hit people with kendo sticks.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's see. We have a Malachi Black promo, which takes a very interesting turn.
Yeah, this went places.
I think I like it. I don't know.
It also wasn't much of a promo. He said like one sentence and then was distracted by Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. So Black says to the members of the House of Black, please stand as we have an enemy in the house. The camera pans down to Rosario Dawson, who is wearing a Nightmare Family hoodie. Rosario gets over the guardrail and faces up with Black. Cody comes down, distracts Black. Then Rosario gets on the back of Black, which that is a hard sentence to say. Gets on the back of Black. Then Cody and Black start to brawl on the outside, and they end up brawling into the crowd. I'm hyped for next week's rematch.
Yeah. I don't know what Rosario Dawson has to do with any of it, or if she's going to be there next week as well.
Probably not. But she was probably just in the crowd and they wanted to use her, which, fair.
Yeah, and I was wondering, I was like, does she like have something to plug? Does she have a movie coming out or something? But
well, on commentary, they said that Dawson is a judge on the Go Big Show, which Cody's also a judge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know what to feel like. If like I like Cody Rhodes, I know a lot of people don't though. I just don't understand why.
I mean, I haven't seen much of his stuff in AEW because he hasn't really been on TV the past couple weeks since I started watching. But from what I could gather from like fan reception, it's just like I think people have kind of soured on Cody Rhodes for the same reason they soured on John Cena back in the day. Just like
but that's
too much of a good guy and like
I guess, but
interesting as a character. Like they want him to turn heel, they won't turn heel. That's kind of the vibe that I get. But
yeah.
I could be wrong.
The only thing I will say is what I respect about Cody that I don't respect about Cena. And I'm not saying this is, Cena's fault or whatever, but Vince just kept booking Cena to win titles, to be the face. What Cody did was he said, all right, if I can't beat Jericho at Full Gear, I will never challenge the world title again. 2 years later, he has never challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship ever again.
Yeah, and I did hear that his run with the TNT title was mostly just to put over Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Because Brody Lee came in and like squashed him and won the title.
He beat Lance Archer in the finals. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, after doing an open challenge, where he debuted guys like Ricky Starks and Eddie Kingston and took them to great matches. Then he got squashed by Brody Lee. And then they had a brutal dog collar match. Dog
collar match.
Huh?
I don't even know what a dog collar match is.
Their necks are chained. So there's a long chain, and they have like a dog collar on each side of them.
Jesus. So like a strap match, but like it's around your neck instead of your wrist?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Dude, it's great. So I don't understand the negative reaction to Cody. Just because, he's always either putting over young talent or he's not even in the main event scene anymore. Like he's literally in the mid card working with guys like, he worked with guys like Brody Lee and Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks. And
yeah, I guess when I say like the similarities to Cena, not in the sense that he wins all the time, but just in the sense that like they just, God damn it, Quinn. They just find his like character like not as engaging.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. But the dude gives killer promos, though. I will say that. So, speaking about that, I don't know what they're going to do next week with Black versus Cody.
Yeah, I mean...
Because logic says that Cody should win.
Does it? If you're trying to build up Malachi Black, unless you want to lead to a third like rubber match at the next pay-per-view.
The only reason I say logic dictates that Cody should win is how Black beat him. Black squashed him. Like Cody got one punch that entire fight. That's it.
Yeah.
So logic says that this match should go longer, show what Black can do, but then have Cody go over. That way they can do a rubber match.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then you have the fan reception.
Yeah.
So it's
as long as Black goes over in the rubber match, I think you'd be fine. But
I gotta do something real quick. Can you go ahead and talk real quick?
Yeah. Hello, that's a lot of me. But even if like they don't have Cody win, if they don't want to do a rubber match, I think that you can still have Black win if you just like it, because I think it would put him over even more. Obviously, have a longer match than they did last time, and have Cody get some more like offense in. But just to show that like that's how formidable Black is, that even with all this time and all this preparation that Cody Rhodes has put in, it's still not enough to beat Malachi Black. I think that's the route you could go. I think that would be a little more like instant gratification for fans. Whereas if you want to play the long game and have Cody Rhodes win and then lead to a rubber match, then you can have Malachi Black over. But like I said, having Cody win seems like anytime Cody wins anything, it's gonna leave a sour taste in the fans' mouths. But I mean, there's also the fact that we haven't seen Cody in a while, and you know they say about like absence makes the heart grow fonder. So it's absolutely possible that maybe the fans will be a little bit warmer to Cody. I mean, he got a pretty big pop when he came out to fight Malachi Black, you know. But I guess it is more the online reception. So, you know, I think either of those options would be pretty decent. And he's back.
I was muted. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry about that.
I was just kind of saying that, like, you can still have Malachi Black and Cody have that match and then still have Malachi win. And it could tell the story of, like, even with more preparation, even with Cody giving everything he got, it just shows how formidable of a person Malachi Black is. And that'd be kind of more instant gratification for, like, fans. But you can also play the long game where you have Cody win, kind of sour the taste a little bit, but then a Malachi go over in their rubber match. And I also did point out that, like, we haven't seen Cody in a while, and you know, like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Maybe they will be a little.
I mean, he got a great reaction when he came out to fight.
Yeah, I mentioned that too. So you know, I'd be fine either way they want to go about it. Long as, basically, I just want to see Malachi Black win the feud overall. I think that's.
I think he will.
Yeah, you'd have to think that he would.
Because the whole idea with the Brody Lee feud was, again, Cody got squashed in the first one. He beat Brody in the second one. The whole idea was for Brody to win the next one to end the feud, but sadly he passed away. I will say this. This House of Black thing is really cool. And I don't want to put the speculation like I do with Cena all the time. But how cool would it be if Black squashes him again and Cody has to find that dark side again?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like he has to go more darker to be able to beat him.
Yeah, like maybe even like not even beat him, but rather join him, like, and become like in the House of Black.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Almost like a Bernie Murphy.
Right now, like he says House of Black, but he's just the one guy. So what's this house he's talking about?
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if maybe Bray Wyatt would be part of the House of Black at one point.
That's interesting.
Just because, like, the whole idea, like, the creative ideas that both of these guys could have together would be insanely good.
Yeah, I almost think I'd rather have them feud with each other.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can build to that. Have them together first, and then one of them turns on the other, and you can build that feud out. Yeah.
So we move on to Jade Cargill taking on legit Layla Hirsch. They do mention that Layla is from nearby. So it's not her hometown, but she is from New Jersey proper.
Yeah, right.
So Layla goes for a suicide dive on Jade, but gets Mark Sterling instead. I love it. I love Mark Sterling.
That's good.
Layla takes the advantage with forearms in the corner and a double knees in the corner. Then goes for the cover. Jade kicks out, and Layla hits the cross arm breaker. Jade powers out into a powerbomb counter. When we come back from break, Layla blocks a power move attempt into a rear naked choke. Jade goes for a pump kick, which is blocked by Layla into a German suplex. Then a tope suicida. Then a dynamite running knee. Layla misses a moonsault. Jade hits a pump kick into Jaded for the win.
Yeah, I like this. It was a really nice showcase for both women. And it's kind of like what we were saying last week with, like, the women's division. Like, you have people like Britt Baker and Ruby Soho and
Thunder Rosa
sort of, like, carry the division where it's at, while you have the other women, like, get more experience and improve. And it really does seem like they're setting up Jade to eventually be sort of like a main eventer in the women's division. Like, they seem to be really behind her. And, with each week, she's sort of showing more and more improvements. So I think that she's definitely has the potential to be a big star for them.
Definitely. I definitely agree. So we move on to Darby Allin versus Shawn Spears. Another great match. They bring up on commentary, hey guys, history in AEW actually matters, that in Darby Allin's first year with AEW, Shawn Spears did beat him, gave Darby his first loss in AEW, which was really big. Now that hindsight's 2020, you look at where Darby Allin is now. For Shawn Spears to give him his first loss was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So Darby gets distracted by Tully while sitting in the corner, which allows Shawn to hit him with a running knee and strikes. Shawn takes the advantage outside and runs Darby into the steel stairs. Then Shawn puts Darby's head into the on the steel stairs and hits multiple knees, sandwiching Darby between the stairs. Holy shit!
Rough stuff.
Darby, calm down. I don't want you to die.
This wasn't even the most painful looking thing that happened to him in the match.
No.
And I'm sure you're getting to that pretty soon.
I'm bound.
So I'll wait.
So Darby blocks another running knee. Shawn hits his own knee into the stairs. Darby goes for a running dive, but Tully gets in the way, making Darby stop. Goes to bring in Shawn, but Shawn trips Darby's knee and makes him do a flip on his head and takes the advantage back. Shawn takes a wet cloth and wipes Darby's face paint off. The ultimate sign of disrespect.
Yeah. So
when we come back,
I guess this is kind of the same effect of taking a luchador's mask off.
Yeah.
But going back to the thing about the apron, that's what I was alluding to. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me how Darby's neck isn't broken from that. He landed directly onto his head. It looks super brutal. I don't know what that guy's made out of. Darby,
again, please don't die.
Yeah.
So we come back from break. Spears has Darby in the Scorpion Deathlock, which, right in front of Sting. I love it.
What a fuck you.
What an F you, man. But Darby gets the ropes. Darby fights back with some kicks in the corner. Darby drop kicks Spears' knee and hits a code red for a near fall. Darby goes to the top rope, goes for a top rope move when Spears fights with him on the top rope. Darby trips Spears and his injured knee gets caught. Darby attacks his knee, and when Spears grabs Darby's chain and builds him off the top, which again, great use of objects and great use of grabbing something and just going with it.
Yeah, and the commentary talking about how that's permanently you can't take it off.
I think that's what Darby said in an interview. He said he always has that chain on him.
Yeah, they said that there's no remove point or whatever.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I thought he just never took it off.
Yeah, they said that there's no break point, so it's on there permanently.
Wow.
Which is strange, but all right.
Hey.
I guess I don't know how he got it on. Then did they weld it?
They probably
on him?
You know what? I think that's just what commentary says. I think you can't take it off.
Maybe. Could be.
And to be fair, the chain is big enough that you can probably just slip it off.
Yeah, he's a skinny guy. That might work.
Yeah, his neck's not that big, so he could be easily able just to kind of slip it off. Spear goes for a C4 off the ring onto the stairs, because why not try to kill Darby's neck even more? Darby fights him off, sending Spears on the edge of the stairs before hitting a tope suicida, just running from one end to the other. Darby just goes head first and takes both him and Spears down.
Yeah, that looks like it could have been really disastrous if the two guys didn't know what they were doing. You can fuck that up really bad.
Big props to Shawn Spears for taking that move and two, making sure that Darby was safe.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've heard Shawn Spears is a really safe worker. He prides himself on being that.
Yeah.
So Darby sends Spears back into the ring, hits the coffin drop for the victory. Right after, FTR comes out, gets in a brawl with Sting and Darby, which will set up a match next week at Grand Slam.
Good stuff. It's I'm still a little hesitant about Sting getting in the ring, but I mean, it's a tag team match. It's probably not going to take most of the offense. So,
and you're in there with three safe workers that can work around you.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, FTR are like really safe workers too. So
yeah, for sure.
And then our main event, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston taking on 2.0. Love the fact that 2.0 and Daniel Garcia are. This is like their third or fourth main event? Like, 'cause they had a few on Rampage, a few on Dynamite. Like, they're really getting not only put in to main event spots, but putting up great matches against big top names like Moxley and Kingston.
Yeah, and I remember Tony Khan's like press conference thing they did after All Out, and it was like he was talking about 2.0 in the same vein as like Adam Cole, as far as
like, he had a joke. He was like, someone was like, "You're the biggest call up from the other promotion ever," and Tony Khan just goes, "Huh? How about 2.0, huh?"
Yeah. And then he even talked about it later. He's like, "Yeah, I wasn't joking about that. Like, I really think that they could be like huge stars and stuff. So he like them over really big, and yeah, I think he sees a lot in them."
Yeah, which is awesome that he sees a lot in, a team that really didn't get to shine a lot in NXT.
I'd never heard of them, but I haven't watched NXT in a while.
So they were Everrise in NXT.
Yeah, I think that was after
2.0. Yeah.
Falling off.
All right, so 2.0 attacks Moxley and Kingston outside. During their entrance, Daniel Garcia suplexes Eddie Kingston on the floor, which, again, I have high hopes on Daniel Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's someone who I think him and Bryan Danielson could just tear the house down for 60 minutes.
For sure.
Dude, I think put over the fact that at one weekend, Daniel Garcia wrestled a 60-minute match on Friday, a 60-minute match on Saturday, and then a pay-per-view match on Sunday.
Wow.
And you're just like, all right, dude, you do you.
Man's got no off switch.
No, he does not. Mox brings in Parker, hits the X-Plex, which I know it's not called the X-Plex, but it's an X-Plex. Yeah. Come on, it's a suplex into a backdrop. Brings him to the corner. Mox hits 2 knife edge chops to the chest. Parker ducks another one, and Mox just slaps the shit out of his back. I love it. Mox chases Lee outside the ring when Daniel Garcia distracts Mox, allowing Parker to dropkick him into the stairs. During Picture in Picture 2.0 hit a Thunder Valley on Mox to the apron. Kingston gets back on the apron, but 2.0 is able to keep Moxley separated from his corner and has the advantage through Picture in Picture. Moxley gets the advantage by hitting a clothesline on Matt Lee and finally tagging Kingston, who's a house of fire, hitting a double clothesline on the corner on both members. Then Kingston hits a machine gun chops, then an exploder suplex on Lee. Kingston then hits the spinning back fist on Lee, and then a DDT on Parker. Kingston tags in Moxley. Him and Mox hit the Violent Crown for the win.
Yeah, really, really solid tag team stuff.
By the way, the Violent Crown is a sick-ass tag team finisher.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm imagining like them hitting that on Suzuki or Lance Archer, and yeah.
Dude,
the way
Suzuki has that neck, he ain't gonna die.
Yeah, and the way Suzuki sold the paradigm shift by just actually face planting onto the mat and busting his eye open. You can imagine how he would sell that.
He said, boy, no faking here. You hit it on me for real.
He's like, what the fuck is a sell? Just DDT me, you pussy.
That's the tagline for New Japan. Just DDT me, pussy. Yes. So now we go on to Rampage from 9/17. I totally forgot we have graphics for this, by the way.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Getting fancy.
We're getting fancy on you. So we begin with the tag team championships. The Lucha Bros taking on 7-0 Butcher and the Blade. Thoughts on this match real quick? I need my voice to rest real quick.
I mean, I could watch Lucha Brothers all day, every day, and Butcher and the Blade, they impressed also. And so they're part of Matt Hardy's faction.
Yeah, the Hardy
family
what is it?
Office?
Yeah, Hardy Family Office. There we go.
Yeah, and they got the Bunny and
Jack Evans and Helico.
Right. Yeah. So I'm familiar with them from Lucha Underground, and I haven't seen a match from them on AEW. I think they were in the pre-show for All Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that pre-show yet, but yeah, I was a huge fan of those guys in Lucha Underground, so I'm excited.
Jack Evans can still go.
Yeah, I mean, I bet he's still pretty young. But
dude,
yeah,
I used to watch Jack Evans on a show called was it Wrestling Society X? Do you remember that show? It was like an MTV wrestling show that went an hour long. It had Vampiro and X-Pac, and it was more of a akin to Japanese deathmatch style with heavy metal rock. It was a weird combination.
Wow. Yeah, no, I've never.
But they had a feud between Jack Evans and Matt Sydal. That was incredible.
Nice. But yeah, Rampage likes to start off their shows with something big.
Yeah.
So to have the first match be the tag team championship match was pretty cool. And it's not like they're necessarily burying the lead because they have another title match that is the main event. So it
also gives, especially with a tag team title match, it gives everyone involved more opportunities and more time.
Yeah.
Kind of have a match and they're not rushing through everything. Cat's give me attention, damn it.
What am I going to do with you, huh? You want screen time? There's your screen time.
All right, so yeah, again, I have a lot of notes on this one. Be prepared. I'm not going to do all these. Don't worry.
Okay.
So the match starts off and Lucha Bros just hit a double super kick on Blade. Butcher and Blade take advantage until Phoenix fights him off and tags in Penta. Penta hits 2 sling blades back to back. Then a tope on Blade, and Phoenix hits a crossbody to the outside on the Butcher. Phoenix hits a German suplex on the Butcher, and then a moonsault German on the Blade. Yeah. Holy shit. Every time he hits that move, it looks beautiful.
For real. Yeah.
Again, you have to watch Rey Fenix versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm a big fan of Phoenix. One thing, why does Excalibur call him Rey Fenix?
People say it differently. You can say Fenix, you can say Phoenix, you can say...
It sounds like he's saying FedEx.
FedEx?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Excalibur really puts in the F, the emphasis on the F, so it's Fenix, F-E-N-I-X, Fenix.
Yeah.
But you got to say Phoenix because the P8 or the hold on. The F-E can make a P sound, so it's Phoenix, I guess.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's just I know. So why does he keep doing that? But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
A beautiful power slam by the Blade on Penta for a kick out. Butcher and Blade hit a double team neck breaker or back breaker, I'm sorry. On Penta for a near fall. Blade so at the end of the match, Blade ties Penta's mask to the bottom rope, and the match turns into a 2-on-1 fight. Phoenix versus the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, I love this finish.
I love it. Penta takes his mask off, covers his face, and super kicks Blade. Phoenix hits a Hurricanrana for the pin.
Yeah, super kicks him basically
blinded
himself. Yeah,
he's just I hope you're right here.
I hope you're not Phoenix. Go for the super kick.
That would have sucked.
Yeah.
But dude, what a very creative ending.
Yeah, definitely.
Penta to willingly take his mask off to retain the titles.
And then even the post-match beat down, he can't even fight back because he has to cover his face. So he can't even do anything about it.
So speaking of HFO attacks Lucha Bros after the match, but out comes Santana and Ortiz for the save. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know who they are, but they look cool.
Again, used to work for Impact Wrestling. They were part of the LAX stable.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They were once managed by Conan, who showed up again at Revolution during the Inner Circle versus... Oh, no, it was Double or Nothing. Inner Circle versus Pinnacle, the Stadium Stampede 2.
They mentioned something like about Jericho. Are they part of the Inner Circle?
Yes, they are.
So, do you think that maybe this is sort of leading to like an Inner Circle versus Hardy family office feud?
That could be interesting. Jericho and Hardy going at it again?
Yeah.
Maybe. But I know they're setting up a hair versus hair match, Matt Hardy versus Orange Cassidy, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So we have the Bunny versus Anna Jay. I love Anna Jay so much, man.
Yeah, I like both of them. I like the Bunny a lot too. I think she's got good characterization to her.
Yeah, I know on Dynamite she had a really good promo talking to Anna Jay about you wouldn't want me to take you down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Which was a really good...
That's
the
finisher, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the rabbit hole.
Makes
sense.
sense.
The match starts with on the floor with forearms, the suplex on the floor from Anna. And then hits a Northern Light suplex, then 2 running uppercuts on the Bunny in the corner. Bunny fights back outside and hits a super kick on Anna. Bunny is now targeting Anna's shoulders on the outside, which again, why would you put that there? That's a target.
Yeah, it's something like it helps alleviate the pain, I think, something like that. But
yeah,
it also, like you said, it's a big target.
It's a big target. So Anna goes for the Queen Slayer, which is blocked by the Bunny, going for the rabbit hole. Anna blocks. Penelope Ford tries to distract Anna. Ty Conti knocks her off, and they start to fight on the floor. During the confusion, Anna rolls at the Bunny for the victory.
Yeah, like I said, I like the Bunny and I like Anna Jay. I thought this match was kind of so-so, and
fair.
I kind of thought that it was setting up the Bunny to win by like using the injury to her advantage, and then like for Anna Jay to win with roll up, like via distraction. I don't know. I felt like it was a little deflating, but I mean,
I get it.
This feud doesn't seem over yet. So,
yeah, I mean,
sure
especially considering this was more of a tag team feud as well.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing to kind of add both Ty Conti and Penelope Ford on the outside.
Yeah, for what it was fine. I just remember like it just sort of felt like compared to the rest of the show, this was kind of like if there weren't commercials, like this would be like the bathroom break match.
Yeah, I can see it. But next, our main event, TNT Championship, and a car is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Actually,
did skip over the Matt Hardy segment.
Matt Hardy segment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had an interview
with the Orange Cassidy look-alike.
Not gonna lie, I laughed at that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was funny.
He did something and just like brutally assaulting a fan. Yeah, that was fun stuff.
I mean, obviously planned, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. But in terms of,
I mean, that was an actual fan. Yeah, you're in trouble.
Bit of a lawsuit on their hands for sure. But,
So we have. I did skip over a pretty heated fucking promo between Britt Baker and Ruby Soho.
Yeah, this is good.
I've got some lines written down. Britt says that Ruby didn't run away; she was fired. Ruby said, "Yeah." Hold on. She said, "Yeah, I got fired. It's the best thing to happen to me because it brought me to AEW, looking Britt in the eyes." Here we go. The winner of the promo right here. Ruby says that Britt is like every other broad she's faced, entitled, self-centered, and banging some dude in the back.
Yeah, rough.
God damn. And you could hear the crowd audibly gasp when that came out.
Yeah.
I love this like almost like semi-realistic like almost like pipe bombs every week between Brit and Ruby Soho. You just never know what they're going to say to each other.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that match for sure. I did like the line about like Brit saying that like she didn't run away, she was fired, because it's like yeah, she's right. That is true. She has a point. But yeah, Ruby like coming back with like well, I'm still like here facing you and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm definitely excited for that match.
And Ruby ended with after Grand Slam, Brit won't be able to say she's AEW Women's World Champion. They have a stare down, and then I believe they have a fight, right? Where
a little bit. It's like Ruby does like a double leg takedown and is kind of trying to hit her, and then Brit just kind of rolls out of the ring and escapes.
And then Ruby has a shot with her holding the title, which, not gonna lie, that looks amazing.
It does. It also seems like a lot of the time that when the challenger holds the title belt,
they're gonna lose.
So, but I mean, I'm sure Ruby's time will come. I don't think it'll be next week, but yeah, definitely further down the line.
I can't see it happening next week. I can definitely see it happening down the line, though.
Yeah, I still think that if anyone, it's probably going to be Thunder Rosa to take the title off of Britt Baker.
And then I can see Ruby taking it off of Thunder Rosa, continuing the story from
Battle Royal.
Yeah, from the Casino Battle Royal, where it was her and Ruby at the last two.
Right. And then like you give Ruby like a good title run, and then eventually maybe you have one of these like sort of
like maybe Jade.
Yeah, Jade at that point might have been able to like build herself up.
Yeah, you would have to give it to Jade at that point.
Yeah.
Which again, it still blows my mind that Jade's first match in AEW was with Shaquille O'Neal.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a mixed tag team match. It was Shaq and Jade taking on what was supposed to be Cody and Brandy, but of course Brandy was pregnant at the time. So it was Cody and Red Velvet versus Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill.
That's hilarious. So
dude,
wait, did Shaquille work as a heel?
Yes.
That's funny.
And he was good.
I definitely respect when celebrities come in and are willing to be the heel. That's always cool.
Dude, gotta give it up to Shaq. He took a fucking cross body from Cody Rhodes, and he was standing on the outside of the ropes. Cody just dived on him, and they both like plummeted through two tables on the outside.
I saw that clip, and I was shocked.
I'm just like, Shaq, you have no knees.
I saw that, and then like I showed a friend of mine who doesn't know wrestling at all, and I was like, hey, look at this. And then that happened, and she's like, oh wow, that looked like her. And I was like, yeah, guess who that is? That's Shaquille O'Neal. And she's like, what? Like, yeah, couldn't believe it.
Yes. So we now move on to the TNT Championship match. It's Miro defending the title against, how do you say his name? I'm sorry.
Fuego del Sol.
There we go. I'm not going to butcher that name. So yeah, Sol's car is on the line at this point. His brand new car he just won with his contract money.
Yeah, that's bold.
Which, by the way, like Del Sol is like 1 in 50 at this point. I love it, man. But give it up to Miro. He put Fuego like over big time in this match.
Yeah, I love this match.
This was a great match. So again, Fuego starts off fast, but Miro uses the strength advantage. Sol, I'm just gonna start calling him Sol at this point. So just fair warning. He bridges over Miro onto the crossbody, goes for a springboard, but as he's caught by Miro, Miro walks around the outside, just like he's doing deadlifts with the dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
What an awful idea to try to do a crossbody on Miro of all people. That's not gonna go well,
especially at the start of the match when he's healthy.
Yeah. Like unless you're coming off like the top of a cage or something, it's not gonna happen.
So Miro walks around the outside with Del Sol, but Miro goes for a power slam, and Sol blocks and sends Miro face first into the ring post. He has the Brock Lesnar, cell, the two things that can beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, or three things. Brock Lesnar himself, the ring post, and a low blow.
Yeah.
See Miro first to the ring post. He sends him again to the ring post. Saul hits a Hurricane Rana on Miro to the outside. Miro tries to send Saul back into the crowd, but the crowd catches him and brings him over. I love it.
That was awesome.
The crowd are so behind him that they're willing to help him get over.
That's kind of what I've always wanted. You know how like Kofi Kingston always finds creative ways to not get eliminated in a Royal Rumble? I've always wanted to see someone like throw him into the crowd and then the crowd catches him and like carries him back to the barricade.
Do like almost a Spike Dudley ECW thing where he like throws him and they just like crowd surf him?
Yeah.
Dude, that would be hilarious. So during picture, Saul hits a moonsault on Miro, then gets caught by Miro into a bear hug. Saul fights back, tripping Miro into the bottom turnbuckle, then hits a roll-up kick to Miro's face. Saul then hits some good forearms and goes for a springboard attack, and Miro just fucking axe handles him. He just swats him like a fly.
Brutal.
He just swats him like a fly, man.
Yeah.
And at that point, Miro's just getting pissed off.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is like, I didn't see their previous match, but they did mention that this one went significantly longer than.
Yeah, the first match, Miro like squashed him in a minute.
Yeah, despite like a DDT that he got, but aside from that.
So Saul hits a double foot stomp to the front and then the back of the head. Miro hits a super kick into, Saul hits a super kick into a short DDT. He hits a tornado DDT, but Miro blocks. Hits a kick to Saul and rains down haymakers in the corner. Super kick by Miro to the front and then one to the back of the head. Miro wins in a brutal ass match. Give it up to Miro, man, for selling his ass off for someone like that.
This might have been my favorite match of the week, honestly, across both shows.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. As much as I liked the FTR match, that's probably my second. But I think this one was just, I liked the story that they were telling a lot of him like trying to weaken the neck, setting up for the DDT, and the fact that he never quite got it kind of makes you think that if he did get it, he might have actually won.
Yeah.
But because Miro stopped him and just like the moments of just like ragdolling and just swatting him out of the air. And then there's even a part where like Fuego del Sol was in the corner and like he tried to kick Miro and Miro just kicked him right back instead. And then set up for those two super kicks. And then even the post match, just like not giving a shit about the car and just getting him in the game over with the keys in his mouth.
Dude,
oh, man.
Can we talk about how fucking great the finisher of Game Over is?
Yeah, when it's on.
Dude, he folds his opponents back up.
Yeah.
It's insanely good.
Like absolute agony.
Which I feel like that should be a segment of the week. So favorite match over two shows. Mine is going to have to be Kazarian and Cole.
Okay, I could see that.
I just feel like the way Kaz is going, the way he's kind of the seasoned vet, you've got Cole as the young gun coming in. Kazarian giving him a hell of a fight. And then that Panama Sunrise into the last call was beautiful.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so let's break down next week's card.
Good God.
Which is fucking massive. So it's the Grand Slam from, was it Queens, New York?
Yeah, somewhere in New York.
Yeah, so I'm looking up the card right now. Yeah, so it's Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. All right, so here we go. I have all the matches for. All right, so Dynamite September 22nd. Next week we have Brian Pillman versus MJF. Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR with Tully Blanchard. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Ruby Soho. And in the main event, a dream match. Kenny Omega taking on Brian Danielson.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was not
Holy
expecting that to be his first match. That is absolutely insane.
But I love how the title's not on the line.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. No.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, so I thought it was a title match at first, but it's not. This is just to see who the best wrestler truly is.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that because
Because
it's like
as Omega said when Danielson asked for a title shot, that's not how it works, AEW. You got to earn your way.
yeah, fair
And
enough.
I feel like if Brian does beat Omega, that would earn him a shot at the title.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, for a title, not for a title, that's just something that like a lot of people just didn't think would ever happen, especially before Danielson like returned from injury. And even when he did, it's like he's probably gonna retire in WWE. He's got it pretty set. He just main evented WrestleMania. So the fact that like God, that to main event WrestleMania and then to face Kenny Omega
In New York City?
New York City just a few months later, like that's fucking crazy.
That's insane. So he went from main eventing WrestleMania to being the highlight debut of All Out to now main eventing a Dynamite in New York City against Kenny Omega. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, he's wrestling Roman Reigns, Edge, and Kenny Omega in the same year.
Yeah.
In the same 6 months. Like,
yes. And if the rumors are true, we could be setting up Cole versus Bryan as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that's got to happen eventually.
But the one match I am truly wanting to see is a one-on-one match. Now, we're going to have to get it soon between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that Cole dropped, right? The people who annoyed him.
Yeah, but also backstage, like doing the promos and like doing the interviews and stuff, he said the one person he always wanted to face was Jungle Boy, which a lot of people are putting over Jungle Boy. You had Punk putting him over.
Yeah.
You have Cole putting him over. You have Bryan putting him over by teaming with him. Christian putting him over.
Yeah.
Like the dude is going to be a world champion, without a doubt.
Yeah, you would think.
Dude, I could see a day where Jungle Boy is the champion and he's facing Darby Allin for the title as a main event.
That's entirely possible.
Which I love that's a possibility now. But like a few months ago, in WWE, you wouldn't see that.
Well, that's the thing. In AEW, like they don't really have any like physically big main eventers. Like you have Powerhouse Hobbs facing Punk, so he's probably got a pretty bright future ahead of him. But everyone else, like they're not big, like monstrous guys.
I mean, Wardlow, he's also another big one, but
that's true. But right now, he's just kind of like in that like bodyguard role.
I feel like they're setting up him versus MJF. They have to be.
Yeah, probably. But as far as like the World Championship matches, I mean, guys like Jericho isn't like the biggest guy around. Moxley, Omega, even people who were challenging like Jungle Boy being that small, and Hangman Page is pretty tall, right?
Yeah, he's kind of big, but he's more on the, like smaller build. Like he's not super jacked or anything. He's more
like lean.
Huh?
It's like lean, right?
Yeah, he's more lean muscle.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this. Besides Omega and Bryan, what is your most anticipated match for Dynamite next week?
Dynamite. Probably Britt Baker and Ruby Soho.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see that match, especially after the promo off this past week.
Oh, it was so good. See, mine, I'm between two. That's Black versus Cody and Baker versus Soho.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm interested to see what they do with Black versus Cody.
Yeah, that's like that's probably like the biggest question mark for me. As
Yeah,
far
I
as
think
that could go any which way.
I think either way, whatever they do is going to be a right decision. If they give Cody his win back, that's awesome because now you can set up like a rubber match. If not, then Black's still undefeated.
Yeah, you build the Black even more. Yeah.
So either way, I mean, you can't really lose in that point. All right, so now we have Rampage on September 24th, which is also a 2-hour event. We have the Super Click, so that's Adam Cole and the Young Bucks taking on Christian Cage and Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. This match, which we didn't talk about, I'm very interested. We have the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager taking on the Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, with Dan Lambert at ringside.
Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of Jake Hager, like in any aspects or any like because I know he showed up with Lucha Underground for a little bit.
It's Jake Strong.
I don't really like him then either. I didn't like him in WWE. I haven't really seen anything of him in AEW so far, but he just and the fact that he's a babyface now, I just like I don't know, cheering for him doesn't feel right.
Thing is, Jericho is such an over face.
Yeah.
And who's ever surrounded by him will automatically be a face. It works.
Yeah, I almost wish that like I would say I wish it was like Sammy Guevara instead, but I know he's got like he seems to be entering a feud with Miro now. So
yeah,
have someone else in there. But yeah,
see, Jake Hager makes a lot more sense for this one though.
Yeah,
because you have the MMA guy and Dan Lambert, knocking down the pro wrestling business. You got MMA fighters in the ring, and you also have an MMA fighter on the other side in Jake Hager, who's undefeated in Bellator.
Right.
Who's also doing pro wrestling. So it's kind of weaving in two different stories.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which this gets me wondering. Now, they're probably not going to do this, but what if Jake Hager turns heel on Jericho and joins Lambert's like MMA faction?
That is definitely possible.
Because think about it. You're bringing in an MMA guy who's also a pro wrestler. You could go either way. You could have him side with Jericho and be a good guy, or you can have him turn on Jericho, and that starts another feud, Jericho versus Hager.
Yeah, I think that'd be
interesting.
And I think having like a faction of like serious MMA, like quote unquote, like real fighters kind of showing the wrestlers like, like this is what real wrestling is, like the guy from South Park. But yeah, I think that'd be pretty interesting because the guy's promos is just like basically like an anti-Mark.
Dude, not gonna lie, Dan Lambert is surprisingly really good at promos.
Yeah. Every time.
But and that's another thing. Hager's not really good at promos. If you put him with a mouthpiece like Lambert, who's not gonna really wrestle, he's just gonna be there to hype up Hager. That could be very interesting.
Yeah. And he's got that Brock Lesnar syndrome of like intimidating looking guy, not an intimidating voice whatsoever.
No.
Have you seen those clips of Brock Lesnar yelling?
Screaming. He's like, ah!
Yeah, it's so fucking funny.
My favorite thing ever.
Yeah, it's great.
But dude, like the whole idea of having this like huge, which by the way, going back to Dynamite last week, if you look in the ring with Lambert, you have guys like Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and you have Paige Van Zandt, which, come on, Paige Van Zandt is the nicest woman in the world. There's no way you're going to get people to boo her. Like, come on, she is like a supermodel MMA fighter.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about MMA.
But, like, just having Hager as, like, you have, like, the Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Jake Hager.
Yeah.
That's a trios right there.
Yeah. Especially if the rumors are true about them wanting to bring in a trios championship belt.
Which they definitely could.
Yeah, you're going to want to build up more trios tag teams, and I think that'd be a great one.
So if that happens next week, just know you heard it here first. Just remember that. Then we have CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Again, going to be a great match.
Almost like, I like this because it's almost like the exact opposite of Darby Allin. You know, you have like a really small Daredevil high flyer,
and then a really
you have him facing, literally his
Powerhouse.
name, Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah,
dude,
CM Punk.
The chokeslam he did on Punk on Dynamite through the table looked nasty.
Yeah, that did not look like a table that was made to be slammed through.
It looked like a New Japan table.
Yeah, like no sold that slam pretty bad.
Nothing. Which gets me wondering if Powerhouse Hobbs may win this.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that makes me think he might not is because it seems like they're more so setting up a feud between Punk and Hook. And Powerhouse Hobbs is just kind of like the guy to get there. Like he beats Hobbs and then faces Hook. Unless you have Hook cause a distraction.
That's what I'm thinking. Either that or you have Powerhouse win because Punk is just injured.
Yeah, that's true as well. But
he did go through a table like 1 week ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Punk wins, right? Because it's not going to hurt Hobbs at all, like just like it didn't hurt Darby in his match. Because Punk's going to sell his ass for him.
Yeah, and that is another thing where, like, if you have an established name come in and then they, like, lose to everyone, it gets to a point where it's like, well, at what point does beating them not mean anything?
Exactly.
Like, you have to have them win sometimes so that when they lose,
it's more of a balancing act, because if you have them lose all the time, then it's like, well, it doesn't mean anything. But if you have them win all the time, then you have people like talking about, oh, AEW can't make new stars. They're just bringing in new stars. And you're just like
burying the roster and stuff. But yeah, I do think that if they would have Powerhouse Hobbs win, I do think that it would be something like where Hook causes a distraction and then you set up Punk versus Hook later down the line.
Or, I mean, Punk versus Ricky Starks. The promos, man. I want
Ricky Starks was on commentary, right? On Rampage. I kept forgetting he was on commentary.
Yeah, he was really quiet.
Yeah, he wouldn't say anything for a while, and then he would talk, and I'm like, wait, who the fuck is talking right now? And then that's the
dude. A lot of people compares Ricky Starks to like The Rock. I could definitely see it. His promo abilities are incredible, and his in-ring ability is incredible.
Nice. But as far as like the commentary team goes, I'm not really a big fan of 3-person commentary teams, and I'm even less of a fan of 4-person commentary teams. So like, but like when you have like Punk on, like, well, it's CM Punk, you know, he can talk about anything at any time. But when they had Ricky Starks on, it's like he just seems so like overshadowed by the actual commentary team. Whereas if there was only 2 people on that desk plus Ricky Starks, I think he might have been able to like actually get some stuff in.
See, I don't feel like it was accidental. I think that was all intentional. I think they wanted to save Ricky for more promo time later down the line, because I believe he's nursing an injury right now.
Oh.
I believe he's injured. I think it's a minor injury, but I think he's injured right now. I could be wrong on that though. But I am a fan of the 4-person booth in AEW, just because I feel like Excalibur is someone who can control people nicely.
Yeah.
And people know their timing. Like on normal Rampage, when it's like Mark Henry, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and was Chris Jericho? Or did I already say Jericho?
No, you said Henry, Excalibur, Schiavone,
Jericho. Excalibur knows, and Tony knows as well, when their time to come in. When have Jericho talk, when have Henry talk. And having all 4 of them talk about the match instead of shilling other stuff gives them more time to develop talking about the match and getting their point across in the match. And having all these, like having Jericho and Henry talk about, specific moves in the ring and how they feel, and then having Excalibur talked about he's a former wrestler, knowing different, knowing the Bucks and knowing Omega for years and years and years. He brings that. Shivani can bring in the more announcer status of like, calling the moves, calling the spots, but also doing your plugs if you needed to. To me, it works better than it does in WWE, where all four people are shelling and selling product at the same time.
Yeah, I've always thought that a two-person commentary team was the best. You have the play-by-play announcer talking about calling the moves, calling the action, color commentator.
Oh yeah,
give a little more character and flavor and stuff. That's all I thought. I've always thought that formula worked the best, and it was like, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So next we have one of my most anticipated matches for Rampage: Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, and Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston in a lights out match.
Yeah, I really hope that we get a lot of Kingston and Suzuki going at it. That's really what I'm hoping to see.
You're gonna have to.
Anything. Yeah.
I mean,
especially in a lights out where it's like,
if there was blood. Sorry.
It was lights out. Like you would think there's like no tags. Like it's like a tornado. Like everyone's legal at once. So I mean, you can like do all kinds of chaos.
Oh yeah, like. I mean, if there was blood and 7 stitches in a normal match with Moxley and Suzuki, just imagine what they could do with light tubes, barbed wire, and
oh man, this is gonna be brutal.
2 extra bodies in there as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely going to be plenty of barbed wire. Maybe like a barbed wire table, probably you would think.
Dude, have you seen? No, of course you haven't seen it. I don't think you've seen it. Omega versus Moxley lights out match, Full Gear.
No.
Dude, not only did that match get fined for being too violent, they got fined by the arena.
God damn.
But Omega had a fucking barbed wire broom.
Was that the exploding barbed wire death match?
No.
Yeah, because I unfortunately did see the ending of that match.
And sucks. The match was so good.
I've heard that. I've heard the match itself was good, and it had a botched ending. But yeah, no, I haven't seen that lights out match between.
You gotta look. You gotta watch. I'm not gonna tell you a lot of the spots, but there is a barbed wire. Like Omega brings out a barbed wire broom at one point, just barbed wire wrapped with the bristles of the broom. And he starts like sweeping the back of Moxley with the barbed wire.
Oh my god!
You gotta watch that match. It is insanity.
Oh, that's rough.
Then we have a 8-man tag team match: the Lucha Bros and Santana Ortiz taking on the Hardy Family Office, which is Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade.
You gotta think that match is just gonna be pure chaos.
Oh my god, definitely. And then we have a singles match between Anna Jay and Penelope Ford as well. All right, so most anticipated match for Rampage. That's not Suzuki and Moxley and Kingston.
That 8-man tag does sound great, but I think I'm gonna go with Super Click versus Christian and Jurassic Express.
Ooh.
I think that if they do want to lead to Adam Cole versus Jungle Boy, I think that this might be a cool setup for that, and I think they're gonna get plenty of offense in on each other. And I mean, like Young Bucks going at it with Christian and Jungle Boy and everything, and I think that match is gonna be crazy as well.
All right, so mine is gonna be surprising. Mine's gonna be the Inner Circle versus the Men of the Year.
Okay.
Just because I have a feeling that Hager's gonna turn heel.
I could see that happening.
And I'm anticipating what's going to happen. But other than that, I'm a huge fan of Scorpio Sky. I'm a huge fan of Ethan Page. I'm a huge fan of Chris Jericho. And I like Jake Hager. I mean, you got 4 guys that I love to watch in a tag team match that's going to be great. So,
do you think that Moxley, Kingston, and the Suzuki Goons, do you think that's going to be a main event?
you would think it would have to be.
Yeah, probably either that or Super Click and.
See, I feel like Super Click and Jurassic Express and Chris Cage is gonna open the show.
Yeah. I can see that. You might be right about that.
So I feel like the lights out match would have to be main event, because even on pay-per-views, it's always the last match to go.
And I mean,
it's lights out.
Like, I know we haven't seen it, but like, how can you possibly imagine like being on that card and you just see that match,
and you have to top that match?
Yeah, then knowing you have to follow it like that.
You're not gonna outmatch Murder Grandpa, okay?
Yeah.
You're not in a death match. You're not.
But yeah, either way, next week is definitely fully stacked. There's not a single match that like I'm not at least kind of interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, Omega versus Danielson is just we're getting it so soon. And
I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
All right, so before we head out, let's take a look at the AEW ranking system real quick. Let me share the screen. Can you guys see the screen?
It's coming up. It's loading right now. Yep, there it is.
All right, so wow. We have a huge shakeup, ladies and gentlemen. Orange Cassidy is ranked number 1, 15-1-1. Ranked number 2 in the men's singles division is Powerhouse Hobbs at 16-2. John Moxley is at number 3 with 13-2. Christian Cage is number 4 with 7-1. And Jungle Boy wraps up the top 5 with 13-2.
Nice.
So thoughts on that?
So that kind of makes me think that Danielson is going to win to get the title match, because I don't think that they're planning to do Orange Cassidy versus Omega again. And also,
I mean, they could, because before Pac was added to the triple threat, it was going to be Cassidy and Omega 1-on-1.
Yeah, but just the fact that Cassidy is currently in a feud with Matt Hardy, and also with Omega feuding with Danielson, and then probably Adam Page later. I just don't see that title feud happening just yet. Powerhouse Hobbs is interesting, because if he beats Punk, then that'll make
him number 1.
That'll put him even more. And yeah, Hobbs in the title picture definitely is interesting. I've only seen one match from the guy, and it was the one against Devontae, and that was a really good match. So, yeah.
By the way, I love how in the top 5, you've only got 2 XWB guys.
You only got 2
in the top 5. You've got Christian and Moxley, but then you've got Cassidy, Hobbs, and Jungle Boy ratcheting up the top 5, running up the top 5. Miro is still 12-0.
Yeah, Miro, I have no idea who's gonna eventually beat Miro for that TNT title. By the way, speaking of which, the TNT title, like, what a glow up that belt has had since it was first created.
Yeah,
it looked like shit when it first came out.
To be fair, though, the belt was not able to be completed because of COVID at the time.
That is true, but even when they had like that first revamp, I just don't like red straps.
See, I'm the opposite. I love red straps. Like, I love the North American title.
That one's a little different because I should say I don't like bright red straps. Like I don't like the Universal title. I didn't like the TNT title. If it's like a more muted sort of almost like maroon kind of color, I'm okay with that. Like I also like the North American title, but like bright red straps I'm just not a fan of. I do, however, love white straps.
I do too.
I really like this new design. Like I love the
I love
title.
The white and green.
Yeah. And I know a lot of it has to do with like the Bulgarian flag, so it might change after it changes hands.
That's what I love. If you've noticed, every single TNT champion has had a different belt. Cody had it, and then Darby beat him, and he had a different one. And then Miro had it, and Miro changed the look. So I think every champion is going to change it to their liking. Almost like the custom-made plates. They get to customize their championship belt.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll do that every time because that sounds expensive. But
fair.
It also did seem like they were changing it with each person because they were trying to get the design right.
Fair.
I hope they stick, even if they change like the green coloring after he loses it, I hope they keep the white strap. I'm a big fan of white straps.
I think they will. I don't know. I also love Darby's design, just the classic black and gold.
Yeah, not Quinn.
He's like, enough already. So I have a theory that they may give the TNT title to Sammy Guevara.
That's possible.
He's someone that the company has high hopes for, but right now the world title picture cannot handle another person coming in.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sammy Guevara is someone who could, just like Miro, can have good matches every week if they wanted to. Sammy is a guy who can go, every single week and do an open challenge if he wanted. That's someone you can put a mid-card belt on and have him run with it.
Yeah. And like after a while you can even elevate Miro to that world title picture.
The world title picture, yes.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if Danielson beats Omega for the belt, say Heyman doesn't come back for a while, because he does have a new child.
Yeah.
A Miro versus Danielson title feud would be amazing.
For sure.
All right, so now we move on
you have
to the
two
women's
like
ranking.
super contrasting styles there.
Yes.
But also like really hard hitting styles as well.
And Danielson has always worked well with bigger guys.
Yeah, like his match against Brock was like so special.
And you can have Miro just throw him around and then have Brian fight back. And Miro is someone who, at this point, he's built up enough to where he can take a loss and he'll be fine, especially if it's against the world champion.
Yeah. I mean, he's, what does it say, 12-0 for this year?
Yeah, he's 12-0 and his overall is 19-1. He's only lost one match.
Yeah, he can afford a loss.
Yeah. All right, so now we move on to the women's ranking. Number 1 is, of course, Ruby Soho at 1-0. She won the Battle Royal. Number 2 is Thunder Rosa with an incredible 26-2.
Still, I know we mentioned it last week. That's still the best record of the entire roster for this year, right?
Dude, you gotta think it's only September, and she didn't debut at the beginning of the year. She debuted probably around July or August. I would say probably around end of July. So she's been like...
Wait, Thunder Rosa?
Yeah. She wasn't fully signed with AEW when she did the Lights Out match. She was still under contract with NWA. She just recently became a full member of the AEW roster. And
that Lights Out match isn't even in the rankings
because it's unsanctioned. Yep.
Yeah.
So 26-2. Jade Cargill at number 3 with 14-0. Hikaru Shida is number 4 with a 14-1 record. And Chris Statlander rounds up the number 5 with 16-1.
Kind of surprising to not see someone like Nyla Rose up there.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's move on to the tag team rankings. I believe this was before Dynamite. Rampage this week because Butcher and Blade are now 7-1.
Oh yeah.
So that could change next week, but for right now,
they might still put them at the top. Because even at 7-1, that's still
it would be they'd go down to number 5, and everyone else would round up. So it would be the Bucks, then Jurassic Express, then the Gun Club, then FTR, then Butcher and the Blade.
Wait, who's that at 8-0?
The Gun Club.
Why wouldn't they be up higher since they haven't lost yet?
Well, because also in ranking systems, you got to look at how many matches they've had and the quality of opponents they beat. Most of their matches have come from, dark matches and things like that, like AEW dark matches.
All right.
But also, the rankings also make sense because 11-3, yes, Jurassic Express has lost 3 times, but they have 3 more wins than the Gun Club has.
Yeah.
FTR's same thing. They've had their former champions and also the contender of challengers they've had also plays into effect the ranking system. And then the Lucha Bros are over here with a 11-0 record.
Right. Who would be after?
All right. So say Butcher and the Blade.
So now the Young Bucks are technically in the number 1 spot, right?
I'm not sure if it would be Bucks or if it would be Jurassic Express. Because they do have 1 more win than the Bucks, but they also have 1 other loss than the Bucks.
Yeah, and neither of them had a match on Rampage, so you can't really, even with that into account, that wouldn't really make a difference.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a team feud between FTR and the Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That, definitely.
Just the clashing of styles. The Lucha style versus the traditional, Greco-Roman wrestling would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we will stop the screen there. All right, guys. Somehow we end up keep going more and more and more over our hour limit every week. But guys,
one of these days,
we're gonna have to.
Probably not gonna happen next week. But
No.
Maybe the week after. Maybe the week after we'll get it down.
Maybe if we don't have a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or like another pay-per-view quality super card. Yeah, guys, next week is going to have to be like a 2-hour show. There's no way it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's way too stacked.
My throat is going to kill me next week.
Yeah, drink lots of water.
Yeah, well, why do you think I brought this?
There you go.
All right, Kirby, where can people find you online?
Here, around Nerd Entertainment Network, TMG. Oh, they finally aired The Geek for All. So you can see me embarrass myself in that.
It wasn't that bad.
0 points. I scored a whole 0 points in my.
Hey, so did I.
You what?
So did I.
There you go.
All right, guys. If you did enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe to Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.